Katrina from Morgan Next Practice Marketing, and today we're going to talk about communications planning and how to help your agencies really understand what are the best ways to connect with your consumer. So why is this so important? Well, as you're all aware, there are literally hundreds and thousands of channels or different touch points to connect with your consumer. But because there are so many, it becomes almost an impossible, overwhelming task for your agency to get really clear on what are the most important. And this is also because there's online, there's offline, traditional and offline have now gone online, and it really is very complicated and confusing. So what we have done is developed a tool called TRES, which really helps you and your agency strategically align on what are the most relevant connection points. So let me take you through TRES. So you can see behind me, the T stands for tell, the R stands for recommend, the E stands for engage, and the S stands for sell. So how does this translate into the way we connect? Well, T or tell is all about talk to. This is a one-way communication where basically you're talking to your consumer, and it's usually one-to-many. So think about TV, think about radio, think about outdoor, think about online. It's basically a one-way communication, and it usually is one-to-many. Okay, lots and lots and lots of people. R is recommend, and this is all about talk about. Now we know that in today's world, because there's so much stuff out there, that consumers will often use recommendation as a way to synthesize what their choice is. Now in some categories, this is really important. So think about, again, the baby category, where recommendation from other mums and recommendation from pediatricians, etc., your GP, is really, really important. In other categories, it's less important. But recommend is an important way to connect, to think about the relevance of it to your business. And this is usually one to few. So again, thinking about the individual, one person may talk to 2 or 3 other people if they're passionate or if they're asked. So it doesn't have the scale of tell, but it does have very high relevance and influence. The third one is engage, and this is all about talk with. So this is a two-way conversation. It's where you can actually talk with the brand and the brand can get back to you. Now, obviously, this has been facilitated through social media, platforms like Facebook, but it's also true of a lot of the traditional channels. So think about in-store, think about face-to-face communication, say at your bank with a teller. That's all around engage because it's talking with, and this tends to be one-to-one. It's a two-way conversation between 2 individuals. And finally, we get to sell. And this is all about convert, which is really what we're hoping all of this will do. But right at point of sale, and again, this could be digital or traditional, we're looking at those activities, those things will actually push people over the line to buy. Now that could be a special offer online, sign up now and get this, bonus offers. It could be in your supermarket where you buy one, get one free or get a significant discount. But S is all around conversion. Okay, so why am I talking about the different ways to connect? And what does this mean for you as a strategic marketer? Well, the why is to align strategically on those types of connections that will most influence your consumer and their attitude and behavior. Now, in the world with a million channels, how do we actually go around doing that? And how does TRES help us? Well, what we do is we have a 10-dot system. For marketers, there are no half dots. Just remember that. I know you will try. But the 10 dots are a way to say, what is the most important and relevant way to connect for my brand? Now, you may know this based on your consumer journey. You may know this also based on previous in-market results, but you need to be able to align and communicate this with your agency to help them really understand the best channel plan to put together to drive your business. So if you've got 10 dots, how do you use them? Well, you might say, okay, I'm selling baked beans and I know that I need to do tell. So I'm going to put 5 dots here. And then I also know point of purchase is really important, so I'm going to put 5 dots here. Now, the reason why we always try and do a few things really well is so we don't end up with the butter syndrome, which is where you spread yourself too thin. So in the case of baked beans, reminding people about baked beans is really important, and getting them to buy as they're going down that aisle and only spending 1 second is really important. Recommendation, not so much. Do people really want to talk about baked beans? Not with any significance. And engage, do I really want to have a one-on-one conversation about baked beans? Well, maybe the occasional person does, but nothing to the scale that will make a significant difference. So for baked beans, 5 dots here and 5 dots here makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, different businesses and different categories would put their dots differently. Like I said before, in baby, recommendation is really important. In skincare, recommendation tends to be really important. It's knowing your consumer and how you can connect and best influence them and aligning that with your agency, which is really helpful. So that's TRES. It's a great tool to use as part of your brief, as part of a conversation with your agency, and it really helps them to distill down all of those different channels in a way that will strategically deliver the connection that we know will change the attitude behavior and deliver your strat map. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll be seeing you soon. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed this video series, then maybe you want to think about coming to one of our training programs, because not only do we go into a lot more detail around the frameworks that you've seen, we actually provide live examples, real case studies, and role plays so that you actually understand exactly how to do this back in your job. So don't delay, come and join us. We would love to see you there.